We have to get this right, and we want to get it right. I know that you visited Donegal, so I know that you have seen firsthand yourself, like I have, the impact that we can see it. I mean, the house, especially this time of the year, when even putting up Christmas lights, that there's water pouring down inside people's houses. And I know you know this. So we know it's a man-made catastrophe, and it's befallen the communities the length and breadth of the Northwest. The devastation that has been experienced in those communities will leave a long, long legacy, and we all know this. Families are spending years paralysed with fear that the roofs are going to fall on their heads and the floors are going to collapse below them. Hard-working parents and communities did everything right to build these homes for their children. They've taken out mortgages, people on social housing, right across the communities we've seen this. Community centres, schools, creches, in Donegal, Sligo, Leitrim, all down the west coast. And I have to commend the work of the 100% redress of Deputy Charles Ward for raising this, and the fact that he's gotten elected here. It shows the catastrophe, how much of a catastrophe it actually is. And I want to commend the work of, the 4 councillors in Donegal, Councillor Joy Beard, Councillor Ali Farron, Councillor Thomas Devine, and Councillor Dennis McGee. They're living and they're dealing with people that are living in defective homes. And I mean and the fallout from that emotionally for them is enormous as well. And I think that has to be put on the record. That this bill, I suppose, to talk about the bill that we're here today, it makes a tweak, and there is some welcome tweaks, there's no doubt about it, but it doesn't tackle the fundamental issue that the scheme we have is a scheme that doesn't work. It's a scheme that doesn't deliver the end-to-end redress that these families need and that they deserve. Putting a sticking plaster on a failing grant scheme is just not good enough. And we need that the housing agency to review determinations is simply not good enough either. It only undermines why we need a proper end-to-end scheme. Option 1, full demolition and reconstruction, is the only viable option. We all know from cases where, and I've seen this myself being up in Donegal, where it just makes no sense that there's a pair of semi-detached houses, one side was demolished or was seen as defective, while the other one was left standing. And this just illustrates, I suppose, the kind of bit part of nature of the scheme. It's welcome that the government is moving to rectify this, but I note that the concerns that has been raised, it doesn't go far enough. And the incremental approach to the government to this whole scheme, making a tweak here and a twist here and delaying all the while, is failing the communities. And it's at this time of the year, like people are trying to heat their homes, but you're trying to heat and the heat's going straight out through cracks in the wall. Families are exhausted. I think that they're campaigning to fight for this, and they shouldn't have to. The government, you could do the right thing, and I know, Minister, that you've been up yourself and you've seen it. You could introduce an end-to-end scheme, because we know it works. We saw in these schools that there was the pirate remediation scheme, and it did work, but this bill is not allowing this. It's a slow, incremental change, and and I suppose that we can see that people continue to have to fight. They wouldn't keep fighting if they thought this bill was okay. All those amendments wouldn't have gone into the Dáil last night if it wasn't okay. The moral imperative to stand by a family who repaired their home on the March the 28th, just wanted to bring it into the daytime of the 29th, is just the same as those who did so on March the 30th. The arbitrary nature of that date sums up the government's entire attitude to these families. It's an attitude of disinterest, and I think, and a disdain that's been plain to see throughout this whole saga. And this bill, unfortunately, does nothing to reassure me that it's going to change. It is a sticking plaster when we need to have, it's evident that we need to have a wholesale reset. And people don't, they don't just keep it. All those amendments aren't in it, and all the people don't keep communities. You've seen it. Communities are destroyed in Donegal, and it's not just Donegal. We see it in Sligo, we see it in Limerick, we see it in Leitrim and Mayo. So we need to see a full end-to-end scheme, not based on grants, because we know that the state can do it, we've done it before, but based on actually delivering the reconstruction of work that families have done across the way, which they're crying out for. Gar Margaret.